Hey, how's it going? George here with a couple of thoughts on mobile phones. I had a missed call and voicemail from BBC Radio Oxford this morning, which unfortunately I couldn't contribute, but they wanted to get my opinions as a health and wellbeing coach on our use in general of mobile phones, whether we're addicted to them, if there's a problem, if it's something we should be trying to address. And this was all off the back of yesterday's O2 mobile data outage, which I have to confess I had no clue about whatsoever. It didn't affect me in the slightest, but I imagine it has been a bit of a problem for many other people. So my thoughts would have been, this is what I want to share with you today, my thoughts would have been that mobile phones aren't a problem. It's not a problem at all. In the same way as television isn't a problem or alcohol isn't a problem. None of these things are problems. It's our use of them that can become problematic. So lots of TV and sedentary behavior, that can be a real issue, especially for kids. Alcohol abuse, obviously that can be a problem. We sort of know that, we make that connection already. But mobile phone usage is perhaps something that we're less aware of as being a potential problem. And we're really just kind of catching up. Our psychology it hasn't had time to adapt to the new habits that we have and the new opportunities we have to be always on, to be constantly connected. And I've got 3 kids of my own. My oldest is 11. Fern, she uses a phone, but she uses it with very kind of strict boundaries, if you will, so that there's no, we're trying to figure it out as parents, right? We're trying to figure this stuff out. We have no precedent, because when I was a kid, when I was 11 years old, we obviously didn't have mobile phones back then. So this is new territory for all of us. And I think that we're just starting to catch up and think, well, actually, maybe there is something we need to be aware of, something we need to start getting on top of and getting a grip of the amount that we are using it for. So there's so much benefit and value in having a mobile phone and being connected. There's so much massive potential with all of that. It can really add value to our lives. But if we don't pay attention to how much we're using it, to how we're using it as well, and to actually how it's making us feel, both when we have our mobile phones and we're using it, which can be positive or negative, especially around social media, but also how we feel when we don't have our phones. And I think this was one of the questions that was left on my answer machine earlier on. Answer machine, what is an answer machine? Does anyone even know what an answer machine is now? I think if you're under the age of 30, the idea of having an answer machine is probably a complete mystery. My answer phone voicemail asked me whether I could live without my mobile phone for, I don't know whether it was forever or for a short period of time. And I would probably, of course I could live, I could survive, but I would struggle. And that to me tells me that there's possibly the first stages of addiction is already taken a hold. So it was an interesting question for me. I'm constantly aware of my own habits and usage of mobile phones, but do I actually take as much action as I could to make positive changes? Probably not. Am I going to make some changes? Having thought about this from today's missed opportunity to go live on BBC Radio Oxford and share my thoughts, yes, I think I am. Not necessarily to start making big sweeping changes right off the bat, but certainly to increase my awareness of how much I'm using my phone, how many moments in the day where I've got 10 seconds where I'm not doing something, I pull out my phone and have a look at the screen, check emails, check Facebook, check Instagram, check LinkedIn, do all those things. I'm going to become more aware of my own habits around my mobile phone and not disregard the potential impact that it has on my own psychology, the way I feel, but also my performance, those constant distractions through the day that seem innocuous but actually add up to potentially a loss in productivity, focus and concentration. So I would encourage you to do the same thing. Don't necessarily immediately make big sweeping changes, but get conscious, get aware of your own use of your mobile phone or tablet device. Thanks for listening. Let me know what your thoughts are below. I'm George Anderson, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye for now.